super thin skin, held up longer than I was falling.
Welcome to Center Stage, the documentary podcast. Each week, our group of intrepid researchers and music archivists dig through the record crates of the world, looking for that one artist to take center stage. Using a patent-pending algorithm and spirited debate, we pick one artist. Once that is settled, we invite that artist into Thunderlove Studio to chat with your hosts Keith R. Higgins and Jeff Calhoun. When we're lucky, they say yes. Our mission with Center Stage is simple: to make sure the recorded work of artists remains, or in some cases lands on, the cultural radar. We invite you to sit back and relax. Thank you for joining us.
Dick Valentine stands as an icon among modern rock frontmen. As the vocalist of Electric Six, he guides the band's explosive blend of rock, new wave, and disco influences with a flair that both entertains and provokes. Offstage, he channels his relentless imagination into solo albums, delivering stripped-down, intimate tracks showcasing his vocal versatility. Beyond the music, Valentine's creativity expands into fiction writing, where his narrative style captures the same off-kilter energy that resonates within his stage persona. The juxtaposition of his comedic charm and poignant social commentary gives his art a unique, refreshing edge. Forever evolving yet consistently surprising, Dick Valentine remains an influential figure, commanding attention with his fearless experimentation and unwavering dedication to showmanship and innovation. We were lucky enough to have Dick stop by Thunderlove Studio recently to discuss his illustrious career and his new album, The Final Musician. Here's our conversation with Dick Valentine.
Yeah, it's
You got a Yeti back there? What's going on?
that's Jeff, I think.
I had just gotten through telling my wife. She's like, "Do you want me to take the dog to the bedroom?" I was like, "He's fine as long as he doesn't growl." And of course, someone is out, having their evening walk around the neighborhood. So
very cool, very cool. Where are you guys located? Connecticut and
Birmingham, Alabama.
Oh, okay, sweet. Yeah, I miss playing down there for sure. The Saturn is just it's paradise for bands. It's a great place.
It truly is. I love Brian Teasley.
Yeah, he's done, and that was the Bottle Tree before that, right? That was
correct.
Yeah, the whole idea between both those venues is just, for a band, it's like it's the best place to be. Both those venues kill it.
It truly is.
Yeah,
I've heard that. I've heard that from more than one guest now.
You need to come down here, Keith, and we'll do like an episode live from Saturn.
Yeah, I would love to go back. And then in Connecticut, we play Cafe 99 in New Haven.
Cafe 9, yeah. That's right around the corner from me.
Oh yeah. Which is, I love it there, but it's the opposite of those places. they stick you in like a broom closet. yeah. But it was a good show when we played there.
Great.
Yep.
There are no rules. That being said, Dick Valentine, welcome to Center Stage.
I'm on center stage. I'm used to being in center. Yeah, because I'm in the middle of my band. There are 6 of us, and I occupy the 3.5 to 4.5 spot there. So
this is no new role for you.
No. The tinnitus that I have from standing right in front of the drums and both guitars is testament to it.
And going through your career, there's so much to go into. I don't even feel like an hour is enough time. I'm just going to start wherever the fuck I want to start. And I want to start with the Loverboy cover of Turn Me Loose, because I went into it thinking, all right, it's going to be tongue in cheek. And no, it's pretty faithful.
craziest boy you ever seen. I gotta do it my way, or no way at all. And I was here to please. I'm even on my knees, making love to whoever I please. I gotta do it my way, or no way at all. And then you came around, you tried to tie me down. I was such a clown. You had to have it your way, or no way at all. Well, I've had all I can take. I can't take it no more. I wanna pack my bags and fly my way, or no way at all. So why don't you turn me loose, turn me loose, turn me loose? I gotta do it my way, or no way at all.
Yeah, our Nash, our guitar player, has recorded a lot of our recent covers, and yeah, that one to what you're saying, we covered "Everywhere" by Fleetwood Mac, and it sounds a lot like their version. We did a version of "Heart-Shaped Box," which it sounds exactly, and I let him do all the recording. He does all the music and stuff, and you just nailed it. He gets those sounds, and it's crazy like how true they are. And we've taken liberties with some of our covers, I guess, but then we did the cover of "Yamo Be There," which is one of my of the Electric Six videos. That is one of my favorite videos. We did a video for "Yamo Be There," and Nash is really, really good at taking cover songs and either making it sound like the original song or doing whatever he wants with it. And I'm lucky to have him on my side.
Yeah, for sure.
Dude, Dick, we're gonna be so scatterbrained for the next hour because I'm.
Yeah,
there's a lot to ask. In my opinion, you fall under the icon status because there was a weird time where mixtapes, the cassette kind of had its moment and stopped. And this was before streaming. Like the mix CD was like the next evolution. And for almost a decade, I feel like Gay Bar went on every single mix CD that I made. So I hold you in very high esteem for that song by itself. It has gained cult status to the extent, and Keith, I know we shouldn't be promoting other podcasts on our show, but I'm gonna. Justin Hawkins from The Darkness has a pretty popular podcast, and on a recent episode, he did an entire episode on "Is Gay Bar a cult classic now?"
I was just thrilled that he name checked us and gave us a favorable review. That was awesome, and that was very cool. That was the second most waking up to text messages and stuff after that came out. You wake up, you got a bunch of text messages, and you realize what was it? You're on Justin Hawkins' podcast. That was great. The biggest one ever was Ed Sheeran on his Instagram page posted him and his band fucking around playing Gay Bar. He was on the drums, like backstage in Sydney or something like that. And that, I woke up to 50 messages. Do you realize you're on Ed Sheeran's Instagram right now? I was like, well, it was pretty cool. But yeah, I'm very, very thankful to Justin for doing that. That was very cool.
Electric Six is a band. And by the way, we should state up front, early on in the episode, Dick is here to promote The Final Musician, his most recent solo album, available on vinyl. It's a fantastic record, and we're going to talk a lot about it. But I do want to pull on a couple of Electric Six threads, if you don't mind, just because it's, like I said, you're an icon. You have a certain status, I think, and role in music.
No, I have been doing this for 22 years.
Yeah.
It's funny as we do our research for these types of things. You kind of look at the timeline. I didn't realize, because the first Electric Six album wasn't published until the mid 2000s. You guys actually started the band in the mid 90s there in Detroit. Is that correct?
1996. The first two shows were in August of '96, and we didn't do this intentionally, but they were the two shows that we played were on the anniversaries of Hiroshima and Nagasaki. Like we look back and we're like, what? Yeah. And then
for a guy who worked to start a nuclear war into a lyric, it seems a little intentional, Dick.
Yeah, it wasn't at all. And then at the time, I the band was we just recorded like the original version of Gay Bar and like 7 other songs, put them out. We self-released a 7-inch, and the idea was I was gonna leave Detroit and go to school for 3 years, and that was gonna be the end of the band. The school didn't work out, and then moved back to Detroit, got the band going full time, and then we obviously played a lot more shows. But that was the idea. Those 2 shows were meant to be the only 2 shows the band ever played.
It's such an interesting combination of for a rock band, you have the ability to get somebody's butt shaken pretty good. And I notice as I listen back, there's my ear will draw out specific elements like, oh, that's a great use of a tambourine there, or oh, there's a cowbell. Oh, there's a triangle. And by the end of the song, I'm like, they just went through like the entire percussion closet. We're like, let's do all the cool rump shaking things. And you weave it all together so beautifully. It's got to be an intentional part of your process.
I think it depends on who's recording and what song you're talking about. I mean, I can only speak for myself, is that, I'm very hands off on the production, and 99 times out of 100, when I hear a mix, I'm going to be, that sounds awesome. And if so I'm pretty hands off on that. I just like to kind of write, the basic chords that I write and the lyrics, and then hand them off. And, I've been fortunate throughout the band to have people who, know what they're doing. And so, I never mind bells and whistles. That's for sure. And, like I said, I think, we're not afraid to do anything. I mean it when I say I take this seriously, but I don't. It's just, at the end of the day, it's just rock and roll music. And I just I started a band to have a good time all the time, and that continues to this day.
That's awesome.
Is the Final Musician the 10th or the 11th Dick Valentine solo record?
I think it's the 10th. I'm pretty sure it's the 10th. I'm fortunate to have a recording studio at the end of my block here in Brooklyn, and I started. I had done my solo albums through my friend William Bates, who's in my other project, The Evil Cowards. He moved to LA, and so right around the time he moved, this studio at the end of my block opened up at that moment. So it was pretty great. I have a guy at the studio who I work with, and it's just so easy for me to go in there and record. And I have studio time booked for February, and going to start doing album number 11 pretty soon.
Wow.
So full-length record 2023, full-length record 2024, full-length record 25, and you start on number 11 next month. I'm not going to accuse you of being Robert Pollard in terms of the output, but you're getting there.
Yeah, I mean, I'm guilty as charged. Like at least in terms of how I wanted to do my career was Robert Pollard, Marky Smith, just make lots of records and put volume. And I mean, it's that, and it was also like 9, 10, 11 years. The first first decade we did this, you can't help but read like oh, this band's a joke. This band's a joke. This band will be done in 4 months. And that just means like, oh, we got to keep going. We got like, otherwise they're right. They're gonna take this all away. So we were just constantly like, we need to record another album. We need to do another one, or else people will forget about us. And it wasn't until COVID where we actually like sat back after 16 years of this shit, just going, so hey, we have tenure. they can't do anything to us at this point. Like we've only now started to talk about doing another Electric Six record. We're just like, fuck it. We don't have to do an album a year. We can do one every 5 years, like every other band. So it's a healthy place to be.
Nice.
As you Keith, did you ever listen to Acid Bath? Are you an Acid Bath guy?
No, I didn't.
No. Okay. So Dax Riggs from Acid Bath has a number of solo records that are really very, very good. But there's a clear line of demarcation where you're like, Acid Bath song, Dax Riggs song. Dick, on some of your solo albums, I hear songs that are in the ballpark for Electric Six, like they could have been developed. They sounds to me like they could have been developed into full Electric Six tunes. What is when you put a song on the scales and you decide, where does this go? Where does this fit? What are the criteria for you in terms of, does it belong in the band or is this mine?
Sure. I mean, I think the early solo records, you hear a lot more of an acoustic sound. So like if I was writing something that like, was just sounded better on acoustic guitar. And that's the whole point of the solo albums. That's how they started, was I do solo acoustic touring. So I wanted to have original songs that fit that. So like your first 3-4 albums of mine, it's mostly acoustic, and it's pretty easy. If you're writing something up tempo, you give it to the band. And then as the band started slowing down and not doing an album a year, I'm finding myself with a song like Evil When I Get Good, which is off This Is Hell. Could have easily been an Electric Six song, but we weren't recording then. So, I was like, I could be dead tomorrow. I need to record this song right away.
I get evil when I get good. I get back up when I get stood up, it's understood. I get a cut of a percentage of the finder's fee, and I know, Lord, I know she's been lying to me. I got the keys to the city, they fell out of my pocket. I took the bird from the kitty, cause she know I can rock it. I got the comets and the cupids shooting blood out my slave, and then the others getting stupid, you can't wish it away. It's been years trying to get the two sides of line, but I ain't gonna let it slide, ain't gonna let it slide this time. I get nervous in the bathroom, nervous in the line of love. What you know, hey, it's worth less than what you don't know. Come on, let's go to a place where you ain't gonna say no. I get even in the bathroom, even when I get good. Even when I get good.
Luckily, the guys in my band, like Nash and Tate, like they're always sending me demos, a lot of like synth-based demos and stuff. So I have no shortage of stuff to work with. My daughter's she's making a song right now. I don't know if you can hear her.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, she's doing something. We did a duet tonight. It was pretty great.
Awesome.
Yeah.
I want to put a pin in music for a second and talk about your writing, because in addition to this voluminous solo career, you also write books. Well, one, where do you find the time? And and two, they're fantastic. I've only read 2 so far. I read Chinatown Reach Around, I think I mentioned, and I read Glendale Glory Hole earlier today.
That's my favorite. I love it.
There's so much. I love that genre. So
Yeah.
it's so much fun to read.
Yeah, noir. So I have 2 daughters. When the first one was born, during the day, I'd been so used to making music with my free time. If I was off the road, then I would make music all day. I would do demos and write songs. And now I've got this baby who needs to nap, and I can't make the noise like I used to. So what am I going to do? And then I just I just had the title, Chinatown Reach Around, and just like, so where's this going? And I just went with it, and I created this character, this awful character. And then, after the first book sold so well and so many people were into it, I had to make a sequel, and then it turned into a 6-book series. And then after that, I went into pornographic Westerns, and I have 2 of those now. So, it's a different character, but equally as awful a person. and yeah, they're just so much fun to write. And again, I don't think I could write this like a quote unquote serious book, but these books do have an arc. They have, they're actual stories in addition to gratuitous pornography. But yeah, it's just the fact that they are tongue in cheek, that you don't take them entirely seriously, make them possible for me to write.
Now, your humor and wit are a big part of both your book writing and your music writing. Do you approach them differently as you're writing them?
Oh, yeah, with the format of a 3-minute song, it's kind of each verse, each like stanza matters, I guess. You want to make them all pay off. Whereas if you're writing a book, you kind of take your time and you know, you don't have to have a home run on in every paragraph, you know. And that's when I get to a scene where it says dialogue, I love that, because now I don't have to think about like, you know, like my prose or anything. You can just have people talking, and you have a conversation go on for 10 pages, and that's the best. And that eats up like a sixth of your book. So and then also because I'm doing audiobooks, you know, that's the dialogue's a lot of fun because I like to do the voices of all the characters. So the more dialogue I have, the better, because it gets me to the finish line, and then I get to have fun with it when I do the audiobook.
So you narrate your own production. It seems like it's very self-contained. I recently saw an interview with an author who basically came out to her audience and said, hey, it's not going to be available on Amazon because they take 75% of the audiobook, and it's just not worth it to me.
That's right. Yeah. I have a kind of cult following with the band, and I love micro-targeting. So I've wanted to just keep it 100% my thing. And so if you become my friend on Instagram or Facebook, I will greet you with, are you interested in buying my pornographic thriller audiobooks? That's how, you know, hey man, hey, big fan here. Love, you know, and I come back with a sales pitch right away, and I have like an 80 to 85% success rate. So wow. I have fun with it. And it's just micro targeting and kind of, you know, you get to know people that way. And, you know, so I like that. But yeah, to your point, they take a big cut. I had a hosting site for the first audiobook, and they just started taking more and more. And I was just like, you know, I'm not doing it this way. So, I'm fortunate that I can, you know, I have the ability to kind of do things my own way. I do recognize that, you know, I could probably have a larger audience if I trusted people. You know, that's hard to do.
I couldn't help but think, as in terms of both the sort of crime noir and the Western. I heard songs like The Darkness at the Edge of Town and Old Man Coffin. Those are two examples from the new record that was like, is this an idea that like fell out of the book?
Yeah, it's a good point. I don't know. Old Man Coffin, literally, so we toured Australia in August, and flying on Qantas a lot, they had all the seasons of True Detective, you know, so I had never watched True Detective. And I watched season 1. I binge watched it as we were touring, and I just got so into that like noir of the Louisiana Delta, and it just like it stayed with me. And so that's Old Man Coffin was inspired by that. Like it was the last song I wrote for the record, and I like wrote it while I was on tour there, and it just like, you know, just wanted to have like you know, darkness and death in the Louisiana Delta like that, and that's what the song is.
Very swampy, yeah.
Yeah, it is a little swampy. Yeah, get swampy with it.
Jumps off the train in New Iberia, looking for the blood trails they say he left behind. Just up beyond the vines of wisteria, I don't know if I'm prepared for what I'm gonna find. Old Man Coffin, was he real? Old Man Coffin, does he feel my footsteps right behind him? I tracked him through the swamps of the Delta, lest his secrets sink with him into the cold. Fly too close to the sun and it will melt you. Heed those words and you too shall grow old. Like Old Man Coffin, was he here? Old Man Coffin, does he fear what comes after me catching up with him? Oh, this time I'm haunted by something real. This old heart of mine is borrowing time just to feel. Oh, Old Man Coffin. Old Man Coffin.
There's a line in Bombs for My Baby that I really like, and I don't know what to make of it. I tried to live, but love got in the way.
This might sound crazy. I tried to live, but love got in the way. Glancing at your phone down at Masala Zone. These bombs for baby exploding today. Yeah, yeah. Hey, hey, hey. I've been so lazy. Eternal winters never finding their springs. Reminds me of the poo from the harshest Vindaloo. These bombs for baby are wonderful things. Hey, 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 hey. What she sees when she looks in the mirror are the words that she wants me to hear. While I keep losing lawyers amongst distractors and annoyers. When words are deployed as weapons, I can feel it burning both of us out. Let's not fight until we're old and decrepit. Let's remember what it should be all about. It should be about fire.
That's, to me, that's a generic line.
Really?
Yeah. That, to me, that's yeah. That if you're talking about, when I think of that song, I think about the poo and the Vindaloo and the breaking her papadom and all that stuff. But yeah, I tried to live, but love get. To me, that's just that's. I appreciate you saying that, but yeah, that to me, that's a throwaway line. Yep.
That's the one that hit me.
Oh, there you go. Well, good.
Yeah.
Have you got a favorite line on the new record?
On the new record, probably old man Coffin just at the end where he goes, "Oh, he is possessing me." I love that. That one gets me every time. And then rodeo at 30,000 feet. I kind of like the it's so like up tempo. It's just like watching new releases in my seat, drinking my Seagram's neat. It's so stupid. I love it. Yeah.
You have gone on record as citing Captain Beefheart as a major inspiration for your vocal style and musical approach. I'd be curious to know who else joins Captain Beefheart on that list. What was informing you as a young musician?
Oh, sure. I mean, he was pretty awesome. I went as a high schooler in the 80s. I was obsessed with REM. I loved REM, and I think a lot of my kind of my stage moves and persona I do attribute to Stipe. But I've kind of also outgrown that at this point. It's a love-hate relationship with Rem at this point. As far as lyrics go, it's I still like the Bob Dylan. I like a kind of dark horse inspiration of mine is David Lowery from Camper Van Beethoven. Oh wow! I think in the later CVV records, he's a fucking genius, and he's a big inspiration on how I ended up my approach to writing lyrics. I mean, you look at like the lyrics on Key Lime Pie, and they're just so cynical, and they're so like you're singing about like savings and loan and the Chamber of Commerce and things like that, and it's just like nobody talks about that stuff. So that's probably the big one for me.
All Her Favorite Fruits, one of the best songs ever written.
Fuck yes, yeah, fuck yeah, that's beautiful beautiful song. Sweethearts, those they move me, man. They move me right here. They still do.
Yeah, when he describes the plane and the Bombay doors opening on the plane and the bomb coming out, you're just like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
We're going to go there.
Yeah. I never saw them in the heyday, but I saw them in New York City, like on a Cracker CVV like tour maybe 10 years ago or something. And it was okay. Like it wasn't the best thing I'd ever seen, but as a lyricist, he's a huge inspiration.
Good choice. Audiences have changed a lot, and the change has grown in velocity, I think, over time. You've been described as macho, lustful, sexy, masculine, hypersexual. You write pornography. Has the subject matter that you prefer to explore made the relationship with audiences more challenging as stuff like?
No, I mean it's from the get-go.
Woke culture evolves, I guess.
I don't look at it. I never look at it that way. I look at it like this was all those things are thrown in there to make me and the band and the people around me seem more exciting than we actually are. And that's you start a band because you want to. For me, it's always been escapism, and our audiences have changed over the years. Now it's just a smorgasbord. We have people of all ages and all types, and it's a very, very, we went through a moment in the aughts, mid aughts, where it was just a bunch of like douchey frat guys coming to our shows. It was a sausage fest, and it dawned on me that they thought a lot of the things that we took it to heart, like we really were just like sleaze lords and like cocaine fueled fuck lords, just like, and that couldn't be further from the truth. And like it's all an act and a persona, and but you'd see like people would take it very seriously, and thankfully we've moved on past that. But yeah, I can't tell you how many times I burst people's bubbles like when they met me after shows. It's always a great feeling.
It's not cocaine and strippers the whole tour.
No, not at all. No. There was we played in Pittsburgh last year, and the band opened up for us. This guy was like somewhere between like Kid Rock and Bret Michaels, and just like he was just determined to get me to go out with him, and I remember saying, I said, sorry man, I got to get up early and go antiquing, and he was just like. He was you just see like a short circuiting head, but yeah, so I love that. I love getting to let people down.
In spite of, I don't let people down. I mean, you have a reputation as being extraordinarily approachable as a band. The whole group does.
Yeah, to be fair, I mean, like that's we learned early on that like, and it's one of the great things is like when we started, around 2002, 2003, like touring, it was kind of the last gasp of bands like trashing dressing rooms and the like romantic waste. There's that culture and all that, but like venues fucking hate it. People have to clean that shit up, and it just doesn't fly anymore. And like, so I've seen that like in over the last 20 years, like bands are it has become more professional, I think, because you have to be. I think and so we learned early on that if you get in good with the venues and just be nice to people, and you're gonna it's gonna go a long way. So we kind of learned that, and seen bands like supporting us that were fucking idiots, and like they're gone. So, they didn't know how to do it. So yeah, that's something you learn early on too.
So hold on. So there's no more rock and roll debauchery?
There's no more rock and roll. No, there's nothing. It's just blank.
Well, fuck me.
Let's explore that.
It's just nothing. It's beautiful. There's nothing.
I'm taken to the Lebowski when he says, "We're nihilists. We believe in nothing."
Yeah. I think at the end of the day, it's people have the venues. Everyone wants to make a bunch of money and go home, and that's what we're trying to do.
That's fair.
All right.
Yeah.
Can't argue with that.
That's my take. I could be wrong.
No, I mean, everyone's got a family now. Everyone's got a mortgage to pay.
That's true.
Interesting.
Yeah.
How old are your kids now, Dick?
They got 12 and 7, and that's
okay.
But check back with me in a year. There'll be some different numbers there.
God willing, yes. I hope so.
Yes. This is the pattern every year.
Yeah,
more.
yeah. It's never most of the people in our band now have kids, so it's a whole new dynamic. I mean, I still we used to tour a lot more than we do, but I kind of can't believe we still tour as much as we do with kids. But we have a great job and we enjoy it, and we go to Australia every year. We go to we go places. It's really cool. So yeah. What was your question?
I don't think it was a question so much as a comment.
Yeah. It's but the children of the future. I'm enjoying writing music with my kids, doing music with them, and it's pretty cool.
Dick Valentine, the children's album.
We talked. Me and Nash have. We've talked about doing a kids record for a long time. I think I have like 3 or 4 songs that we have to find time to do it. That's kind of the last thing we want to do. We have some ideas, and we just have to, we have to get the kids to where they can take care of themselves, so we can make the record.
Go full on Perry grip. Just lean into it.
It is funny. Like I thought, like you kind of had to have kids to make a children's record, so that was kind of what I didn't think it necessarily looked, but then I found out all these like children's entertainers in Brooklyn, like a lot of them are just they're musicians, but they get a gig like playing to kids. And my first daughter, when I took her to one, the guy showed up with a massive shiner, and he's playing the wheels on the bus go round and round. That was the best thing. So what the fuck happened to you? That was great.
Yeah. That's amazing.
Yeah.
A good friend of mine is what's the nice way to say this? He's unique. Big fan of the band, but knowing that, I texted him. I said, "Would you have any questions for Dick?" And he said, "Yeah, I want to know why the last time I saw them, they were the Electric 5. They should be the Electric 6." My question is not why are you the Electric 5 and not the Electric 6, because I think that's a dumb question. My question is, what is the goofiest reason someone has given you for not being able to get into your music?
For somebody. Like why? I don't know. I mean, like why did somebody not like our band? And they and
then told you about it.
It always. I remember. Like when we first started touring, we were at the Cactus Club in Milwaukee, and this was like the heyday of garage band hipsterism, and which was where we came from in Detroit was just all over the place. But I remember it was like we got done, and some guy came up to me, and he was he had the jean jacket and tons of rock and roll pins on his jean jacket, and he just goes, "If it's a joke, I don't get it." And I was like, "Hey, nice to meet you." I was like, "Okay, yeah." And that was, I feel like we've been battling against that, the whole time. But it's been fun. It's been a pleasure, and a lot of those venues, we still play them, Cactus Club, Blind Pig. High Noon Saloon, all that. I got to give Jack White props for going back this summer and playing all those rooms. It's one of the coolest things I've seen. I mean, obviously the guy can play major rooms, and he does, but then he's rolling into the Blind Pig, and that was just awesome. I love seeing that.
I found out he played here in New Haven. He played at Toad's place.
Yeah,
and I found out a day after the fact. I'm like, what?
Yeah, I think it's awesome. I love it. I love that he went to the Cactus Club, and it's so cool.
Yeah, for sure.
Yep.
Now, Electric 6 blends a whole bunch of different genres. Was that always the intention, or did you guys sort of morph into that?
A little of both. I mean, I think when we started, like Gay Bar was one of our first songs. It was definitely trying to be more spastic rock and roll just out of the gate, and then, over time you just realize that we all draw from a lot of influences, and and it just kind of always had the ethos of there's no rules, we can do whatever we want. We have quite a few country songs in our repertoire, and so we can do whatever needs to be done in the moment. Yep.
It's a rare skill to have.
Yeah, it's at the end of the day, I mean, I had a guy join the band in 2003, and he had like 20 days to learn whatever 40 songs, and I was like, is this gonna be a problem? Are you gonna be able to do that? And he goes, hey, no offense, man, but it's not exactly like this is King Crimson. It's true. It's like it's three chord rock, verse chorus. It's we don't really break free of that. So it's an easy fun band to be in. Anytime we've had a lineup change and you get a musician of average competency, and we have some amazing musicians, it usually always works out.
This Bible's the Bible of my daddy who just died in my arms of throat cancer from eating some bad pussy.
One of my favorite bills that I saw you on was Electric Six and Super Suckers. The greatest band in rock and roll. Eddie Spaghetti. Salute. Yeah, please.
So Eddie and I, the New York Times games, like, so you got Wordle and Connections, and so when we were on tour, I showed him Strands, which is like a kind of a crossword or like a word on scramble thing, and he was like, I like the Strands. So to this day, we share our Strand scores every day, and it's like the day that we don't get the Strand, then we'll know the other one has died. So it's amazing because I text with Eddie Spaghetti every day, like sharing New York Times Strand scores, and he's good. Like he kicks my ass regularly, so it's pretty cool. Now please continue.
I love him.
That's very middle aged,
incredibly middle aged. I mean, that's and what they're doing is like they really, really, really like are touring way too much. Like it's to like unhealthy levels, and I just don't think they can stop. I think after what Eddie's been through, like with the health and all that, and just like I think it's just like he realizes that this is what he's here to do, and they're just such a pleasure to be on the road with. They're great guys.
I can't believe after he beat cancer how quickly he got back on the road.
Yeah, he's awesome. He's really, really good, and all three of those guys. It's pro dudes, pro dude, and I hope we get to go out with them again.
I do too, and that was my question: is if you could pick any band in the world that Electric Six gets to go out with on tour next time out, who would you pick?
Existing band, I don't know.
It's a tough one.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know about like full tours and all that, but I mean, like the Darkness does come to mind. I really like, I've only met Frankie like once a long time ago, but like there's kind of an affinity there, like with what they're doing, and they seem like really, really good guys. So that would be a lot of fun. There's a band from Detroit that called Sponge. They had a couple radio hits in the 90s, and I just really want to play shows with Sponge because like before the White Stripes, they were like the biggest deal in Detroit. Like this band from Detroit's on the radio. Can you believe it? And to this day, we've never played with them. And so it's just like I just want to do that to like for my 21-year-old self to like be opening up for that band or something. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, we'll we'll play with anybody. We're like the Travis Bickle of bands. Anywhere, anytime. Yeah, you book us anywhere.
And that is to suggest there will be more Electric Six tours in the future. That's the band is still intending to release new music and stay active.
Oh yeah, we will be doing in May. We're doing 3 weeks east of the Mississippi. I haven't seen the routing yet, but I can't say Birmingham will be on it, but I mean, all the big cities on the East Coast will be there, down to Atlanta probably. Actually, we played Birmingham on the last tour. It wasn't Saturn. It was Zydeco. Is that
R.I.P. Yeah, it's closed now.
Oh, is it? That was a great room. I mean, I was obviously wanted to be at Saturn, but I was I really enjoyed Zydeco. That was good, and I'd never been to that part of town either, so that was cool. Yeah, so in May we have 3 weeks of the east of the Mississippi in the U.S.
Now you have so many different creative outlets. Is there one that you haven't tried? Say filmmaking or opera, even?
Oh, sure. Yeah. Well, I haven't done opera. I want to get want to get the Bart Duquesne. I want to get them made into movies. And I don't know how to finance that. So anytime the Powerball gets over $500,000, I always, I'm like, this is the only way these movies are going to get made. And so, if and when I do win that, I mean, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to I'll get those movies done. And that's a goal. I'm afraid to do film, just cause there's so many people involved. It's gotta be so frustrating. I can't even imagine what it's like. I've always, that's what I've loved about music is it's instant gratification. Like you go, you play a show, everyone loves you in that moment. If you're doing art or making a film, it's painstaking and it takes too long. It takes forever for you to get your attention. So I'm just not built for that. I like just rolling into a club and playing for 30 people and feeling in the moment that I've done something.
I'd love to see those movies for what it's worth.
Yeah, we have to. If you're familiar with it, like everyone's like, "Are you going to play Bart Duquesne?" I'm like, no, I'm not going to be Duquesne. But somebody suggested it, and then it hit me like this. This is who I need to throw. Is Matt Berry? Matt Berry will be Bart Duquesne.
Oh yes. But, yes.
Yeah. Well, it was
for sure.
It was one of those things where, like, when somebody suggested that, I was like, "Holy shit! That is." He was born to play that role, so I need to buy some lottery tickets to make that happen.
Bart Duquesne and Jackie Daytona are brothers.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, yeah. It's without spoiling any of it. I mean, it's just really just stories about the worst human being that's ever been made, and like and he gets what's coming to him every time. That's the best part. Each one of those books, he gets what's coming to him.
Great books. And
honestly, what little I know of Matt Berry, he'd probably be super into it.
I hope so. I mean, we'll see. Like I said, I mean, I need to get the financing, and that's where I'm at right now. I'm begging. That's why I keep putting out solo albums, because maybe one of them will hit. Maybe one, and then I'll be able to make these movies.
Never know.
Is that a thing anymore? Do musicians actually still believe that there is such a thing as a record hitting?
I never did. I mean, I like, honestly, like what happened to us was right place, right time, and and we had a good band and we were in the right music scene at the right time. But at no point did I ever write a song thinking this is going to be a hit. So I've never looked at it that way. But stranger things have happened. So I put the stuff out there, and and if I can just keep doing what I'm doing at this level, I'm pretty happy.
I want to go back to something you said earlier about the guy that said, "If this is a joke, I don't get it." There have been comparisons drawn, and I don't know if it's because maybe you bear a slight resemblance to Jack Black sometimes, but there have been some Tenacious D parallels. Was there ever a temptation to just lean full into humor and try to be a joke or a funny band?
No, I mean, and again, I don't. I look at them and I don't see them as a joke. I mean, I understand what you're saying and how they are perceived that way, but I mean, I think they write really intelligent lyrics, and I think that's the thing that's all. Like, people call us a novelty or a joke or a gimmick, and to me that it's all good. To me that implies they found the Libyans. I'm dating myself there. If you when you're called a joke or a gimmick or a novelty, that implies that you're doing something that you wouldn't ordinarily be doing to make money or to garner a different audience, and you're doing it intentionally. And our band's never been like this. Is the most natural way for me to make rock and roll music. Is just this. So it's not a novelty. This is just what I'm waking up and I'm doing this because I like it, and that's that's that. I mean, so I just lean into what comes naturally. I definitely don't push myself or challenge myself in the name of music at all. Like I wake up, I write songs, and I enjoy them, and then give them to the world. This is something I have. Here you go, and that's basically it.
So very stream of conscious, not a ton of editing. You're not just pouring over the lyrics going, "Oh, that word doesn't work," or do you?
A little bit. I mean, sometimes you'll hear a song that has been in my head for 10 years and I'm like finally getting it out. I do like, there is a Juan Valdez aspect to it where I'm not going to, I shall serve no song until it's time. But, I've got I've got a number of songs cooking right now, and I'm going in February, and I need to have 5 or 6 done, ready to go. And right now I've got 15 ideas, and so I'll just pare down the 5 or 6 that I feel the most comfortable with, and go from there. But yeah, there's always something in the hopper. There's always a title, there's always a verse, there's always a chorus or a riff, and just given a couple hours in the day, I can sew it all together.
You make it sound so easy.
It's fun for me. I mean, I've never put pressure on myself at all. It's just not something I take. I've never romanticized music the way a lot of people do, and if that's I just don't. I enjoy music and I enjoy songwriting, and I don't seek to be better or good or perfect. I just seek to get it out of my head and have a good time doing it.
I think a lot of people find that that's an exhaustible resource that eventually the well runs dry. You're just a endless spring of creativity, I guess, between the books and the music.
Yeah, I mean, I could stop at any time. I just but also it became my my livelihood. So I am money motivated. I mean, I do this I don't make millions of dollars, but I make enough to to help out around here. So it's I'm motivated in that regard, and it's I just keep going and play shows and come up with ways to do it my way, and it's worked out so far.
It's your big money day. It's your big money day. It's the day you dreamed of since you started playing the game. And the way you're looking at me now, I'll never be the same. Tonight's the ceremony. Tonight's the ceremony. You will be bathed in red-skin shards of metal. Big money day, it's your big money day. It's your big money day. Don't spend it all in one place now, baby. Come spend the night in my place now, baby. Don't spend it all in one place now, baby. Tonight's the ceremony. You will receive all your money. It's your big money day. Big money day. It's your big money day.
How have your kids listened to your music, and how do they react to it?
Yeah, they have at this point. There's a song at the last song off my second record, Halloween Fingers, called "Running Out of Potato," and my daughter thought that was our biggest hit. That was her favorite song, so she'd listen to "Running Out of Potato" over and over again. So she'd meet other kids and say, "My dad's in a band, and he has a song called "Running Out of Potato." And I was like, "Yeah, that's pretty great." So, but yeah, I was a chaperone on her 5th grade trip to Washington D.C., and the bus left pretty early in the morning, so like half an hour down the road, I fell asleep, and they put on "Diary for a Wimpy Kid" for everyone to watch, and "Danger High Voltage" is in that. And so I woke up to that song playing, and all the kids like pointing at me, because word had got out that was my song, and that was pretty disorienting.
Oh, that's fun.
Yep,
that's funny.
Yep.
No, that's actually pretty amazing, man.
Yeah, it was cool. It was a great trip.
desire.
It's my desire.
It's my desire. Don't you wanna know how we keep starting fires?
It's my desire.
It's my desire.
It's
My desire. Danger, danger. High voltage. When we touch. When we kiss.
Danger, danger. High voltage. When we cut, when we kiss, when we touch.
Danger, danger. High voltage. When we touch. And when we kiss. Danger, danger. High voltage. When we touch.
When we kiss,
When we touch.
when we kiss.
You're one of the few people that we've had on our show that has put on a suit and a tie and been a guest on Fox News. More than once, I might add. How does a friendship like that one? Because I mean, you guys obviously have a relationship. How does that happen? How do you find yourself on Fox News?
He ironically at the time, I think Andrew WK was on his show 30 times, and he had Buzzo from the Melvins on quite a bit. I did find it ironic that as far as like American television, we couldn't get on Jimmy Kimmel, we couldn't get on any of those shows, and then I'm going on Fox News. It was pretty strange. I mean, I think I was on 4 times. They're always positive experiences. That said, it was a long time ago. And I think things have changed.
Yeah, Fox News does not have any bands on nowadays.
No, they don't. I don't know. It's been a long time, but they were positive experiences, and it was I got to ride in a limo. So that was pretty cool.
Hey, that was the best thing about it.
Yeah,
Sounds great.
Yeah.
So, there's a recurring theme here with you. It seems like whatever external influences might be, pushing one way or another, you seem immune to a lot of it. You seem creatively like, I'm going to do my thing, and there's not a lot that's going to move me one direction or another. I'm going to write my songs, and people can like it or not, take it or leave it. I know a lot of artists right now with the new administration and America changing dramatically in front of our eyes are motivated to say something about it. Does that influence you at all? Is that something that seeps into your head when you're writing? It still could. In 2016, we have a song called Dark Politics, which is kind of references that feeling. And I think it's one of our better songs. In 2004, we did Rock and Roll Evacuation, which was, our song about Bush. So, at times I've dipped my toe in there, but it was around 2003. I was doing an interview with some Scottish kid. It was around, we were as Americans, and the Iraq War was going on, was being launched. So we were always asked to answer for that, I guess justifiably so. And the kid was like, "What are you going to do to stop this war?" And I know it's an Irish accent, not Scottish, but I was like, I don't know. Is there anything I can do? He's like, Rage Against the Machine is going to stop this war. I'm like, okay. And I was like, cuckoo. Yeah, to your point, sure. You can always and should say something, but I don't. I feel like such small potatoes at this point, and I feel like I'm, in the aughts, I would go and mix it up on like websites and get into it with people that I disagreed with, and just realize that it does not move the needle. They don't change, you don't change. No logic, nothing. I think the people on different sides of they're just wired differently, different beliefs, different emotions, different impulses. And, when you get to be my age, you kind of realize there's not a lot you can do. But in terms of winning an argument, you can do things, obviously, like, you can, spend ethically, you can, talk to people and all that. But I do feel pretty powerless, and I will continue to feel that way for a long time, and then I'm going to die.
Well,
Nobody makes it out alive.
Nobody does make it out alive.
Yep. That's great. I never thought of that. That's the first time I thought about that. That's very cool.
Does the country western book series, is this going to be a 6-book arc like the crime series?
3. I've just now started the 3rd one. This, actually, the detective series wasn't meant to be a trilogy. If at the end of Glendale Glory Hole, like it could definitely have ended with that ending. That could have been it. And then I decided to bring it back. And but this one is definitely. I mean, I'm getting pretty tired. I'm very tired. So I only got 1 book left in me, and then I'm gonna sit on my porch and start whittling.
I can't wait to see what you whittle.
Thank you. Well, the time goes by. The time goes by.
Oh my! You say that, Dick, but my favorite song on the new record is "Girl Astronaut." So maybe sci-fi. Don't know.
That's now you've planted the seed. I never tire of the process of writing and recording and performing music. The last book was a struggle. It took me 2 years to get through it, and this one's it might even be a few years before I'm done with this one. And they're only like 70 pages long, so I'm definitely slowing down on the writing. But now you've planted a seed. I like where you're going.
You go.
Yep.
There you go. That seems like a fine place to end the episode, Keith.
Yes.
Hey, this was really fun. Thank you for spending an hour with us.
Thanks for doing it. I appreciate it. I'm proud of the new record, and I'm excited to. I'm touring in Ireland, Scotland, and England in March. Got probably about 14 solo dates, so I'm really looking forward to that. And then, like I said, the band goes out on the road in the States in May.
Awesome. Well, if you're in Ireland, be sure to mention that you're on the podcast, because we are the #1 music podcast in Ireland.
You are? Oh yeah. Yeah. Congrats. That's fantastic. I will mention that. I'll take every year last euro I could get. So that's
all right. Listen, man, we
still
appreciate
waiting
it.
on my trophy, Keith.
It's in the mail. I dropped it in the mail today.
Did you? All right.
Yeah.
I will display it prominently.
Thank you guys for having me. I appreciate it.
All right, Dick.
Thank you, Dick. Man. Appreciate your time.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Many thanks to Dick Valentine for spending some time with us. Special thanks to Eric at Shortwave Records for making it happen.
This episode of Centre Stage was written and produced by Keith R. Higgins and Jeff Calhoun. The show was recorded at Thunderlove Studio, where it was engineered by
Daphne Morris,
with help from
Penetration,
edited by
Vic Titball,
with help from
Clem Fandango.
Our theme song is Cynical by Jaguar on Mars. You can stream Jaguar on Mars wherever you stream your favorite music. The songs you heard during this podcast were Gay Bar and Turn Me Loose by Electric Six, Evil When I Get Good by Dick Valentine off his album This Is Hell. You also heard Old Man Coffin, Bombs for My Baby, and Big Money Day from Dick's latest album, The Final Musician. And lastly, you heard Danger, High Voltage by Electric Six. Dick's album, The Final Musician, is available to stream now and will be available on vinyl in March through Shortwave Records. You can stream the entire Electric Six and Dick Valentine catalogs wherever you stream your favorite music.
original music by Mike Pellegrino.
If you like what you've heard, please remember to subscribe and leave us a rating. It helps other people find the podcast. Thanks for listening.
Grazie.
Bailey Leaf,
Rob Janicki, Mike Pellegrino, Farina Vella,
S.W. Loudon,
Michael Janicki, Peyton Janicki.
This show's executive producer is Lulu McGillicuddy and is in the loving memory of
Lucas Thunderlow.
And now, until we meet again next time, I remain as always obediently yours.
Abandoned Albums is a production of Paw Print Media.